Hard Right J is in hot pursuit of some alphas that he can recruit to join the Hard Right in a principled fight, but Letterkenny gives them the boot.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we're once again hanging out at the produce stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one can pronounce both basket and breakfast, just not Massachusetts. I'm Al, your host. And joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt and I don't have a word for you tonight, the victorious Victor. And joining us today, we know nothing about her other than the fact that she'll share stickers with us. She's got great taste in podcasts, and she's a patron, which is why she's joining us as a panelist tonight. Please make some noise for Crystal.
Wondrous.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wait. I love it. That was actually my most excited, for that. That was what I was excited for.
Awesome.
Just your big soundbite intro.
Yeah.
I love it. Every time.
So, Crystal, the other thing I didn't write down in my intro, and so I failed to mention it because it wasn't written down, is you're also the one who sent us our first piece of fan mail, which was those stickers. Thank you so much for that.
I like how he's implying like we've gotten more, but...
Well, okay.
I send them monthly.
Yeah. So where are you talking to us from?
Danbury, Connecticut.
Connecticut, very nice. And if you don't mind me asking, what do you do there in Connecticut?
I am a procurement director and IT VAR, so a value-added reseller. We basically build networks, install them, resell the equipment, do the designs, things like that.
Interesting.
I know nothing technically. I just do the purchasing. Like I can tell you what something is by the part number. I can't tell you what it does.
Well, you could have bullshitted us. We wouldn't have known it either way. You could have said, I know everything.
I'm learning. I'm an honest person.
Yeah, very nice.
Sorry, it sounds a lot like my job. I mean, it's highly technical, yet I know nothing about technical.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can talk it, but I can't really explain it.
Right.
Very nice. What's it like in
That
Connecticut?
goes a long way.
What's it like in Connecticut right now? What's the weather like down there?
Rainy.
Yeah.
Lots of rain. It was beautiful the past week in the 60s, and then it just went right back down to rain. But I think this is it going forward. I think we're in a good place.
You better not be jinxing us. Knock on wood.
I said anything.
That's great. Well, I mean, Crystal, the reason you're joining us tonight is because you are a patron, and so we really appreciate your support. And you've been listening and following us for pretty early on. I can't remember exactly when I first saw your name, but I do remember the stickers. So when did you discover Letterkenny?
Kind of halfway into it. It wasn't in the beginning of the season. My friend was watching it a lot, and started watching it with him and just could not stop after.
Beginning of which season?
I think it was probably around season 5 when I started watching it, but I started from the beginning again. So I've watched it probably 3 or 5, 10 times over at this point. It's like, when you're cleaning the house, like that's on in the background kind of thing. And every once in a while something catches you and you're like, I love this part.
Now, is it, did you say Danbury, Connecticut? That's where you, is it like a small town like Letterkenny, or is it a larger city?
It's a city.
Yeah?
It's a city in Danbury. We're right in the border of New York, like Brewster area. You guys probably don't really know. So we're very close to New York. I actually grew up on Long Island.
Okay.
And moved to Connecticut a couple of years ago. So I'm a New Yorker at heart. But
very nice.
Yeah.
So which sporting teams do the folks in your town affiliate with?
Hartford, of course.
One on Long Island or in Danbury?
No, Danbury.
Oh, the hockey, the Hat Tricks.
The Hat Tricks.
Is that an American League team or something?
That sounds made up.
I've only been in Danbury for 4 years, so I didn't know.
Slapshot 3.
I know we have a hockey stadium. There's a hockey stadium in town.
It's no Rough Riders, but I guess it'll do.
Right.
Well, Danbury's Hat City.
Yeah.
I guess Danbury's known for making hats back in the day, so we're Hat City.
Oh my gosh, maybe we could find you a hat that fits there, huh?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Yeah. That's,
I don't know if you know of John Oliver. He's a comedian.
Mhm.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they just named the Danbury sewer plant the memorial.
That's where
John
I
Oliver.
recognize Danbury from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sewer
That's
plant? What? They named it?
Because I guess John Oliver was talking shit about Danbury on one of his shows or something, and the mayor went on Twitter and like kind of clapped back at him, and they got in this thing, and now we have the memorial, John Oliver Memorial.
That is
sewer
awesome.
plant.
Did they get him?
This is legit. I saw
don't know why
this.
it's a
Oh
memorial.
my god!
Did he come for the ribbon cutting? Because that would have been
Oh, he
perfect.
did.
he? Oh,
Yep,
so
yep.
good.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you look
So
it
he
up
was like-
online,
He was proud of it then, was he?
he thought it was hysterical. They go back and
Yeah.
forth because like he was saying, Danbury is such a shit city, and the mayor's, or he's the ex-mayor now, was like the funniest guy ever. So that whole thing went down, and that's why Danbury's known now.
That's awesome.
That's right. I was trying, as you said it, I'm like, I know I heard about Danbury recently, and that's exactly what I saw. Was I watched
Yep.
that whole reel, and it was hilarious. And
Wow.
John Oliver just embraced it and was so proud of it. And
He took pictures in front of it. It was pretty funny.
Awesome. All right.
Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but
Tonight's lineup's going to be Victor, Matt, Tanya, Al, and of course our guest gets the last word, Crystal. So we will start with Victor. How's your week?
It's good. The whole week was just anticipation for tomorrow, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League came out today.
I was going to say that happened today, not tomorrow.
Yeah, but today I had to work, and then I had some responsibilities, and we're
Well, you
Figure it
can't
out,
you
man.
can't take 4 hours out of your work day to watch.
We're spending some time together this evening, and so I've got my priorities set. So I took the whole day off tomorrow, and
Oh my God, you need it for a 4-hour movie.
That's a half a day
yeah,
right
well,
there.
people are so dramatic about it, and then those same people will turn around and binge watch 5 hours of some show on Netflix the next minute. It's like it's not that big of a deal.
right. Well, I mean, you don't feel as guilty when you watch a show because you're watching multiple things.
Mhm.
You might
Yeah.
get through 6 episodes. Like I got through 6 episodes. The same time you get through one movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the same freaking thing. It's 4 hours of entertainment.
Semantics.
I say that to Al all the time. I'm like, oh, let's just watch a few episodes. We don't have time for a movie.
And then we end up watching 6 episodes. Like, God damn it, we could have watched the movie. Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, and yes, I can press pause and then come back and watch it later if I so choose. But I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. I haven't spoiled it. I mean, I know what the story is about, right?
Mhm.
It's a freaking 4-year-old movie, but I have read some non-spoiler reviews, and I mean, it's incredible. Like people are saying it's the greatest, superhero movie ever made. So.
Well, our friend Chad is very excited. He went internet silent today so he could watch it. Yeah. So he's been.
Yeah.
We should just binge hit him on Twitter the whole show here, and then wait till, because if he's being truthful, he's offline, so you'll come back online and have like 100 tweets.
Yeah.
And even the worst the worst stupidest sheep herding rating site in the world, the Rotten Tomatoes, even on that stupid site, it's got a 79 critic score and 97 fan score, which is 40 or 50 points above what the original abomination of the Justice League movie was in 2017. So
tell us how you really feel, Victor.
So I want to know if you've
We're pretty good.
if you've taken this much time in order to like take your day off work, research it, see what the critics say and stuff. Do you also have this sounds like it's a game day ritual? Like, do you have food prepared for what you're like? Is this?
This is Victor's Super Bowl. He's got the wings and the chili.
No, I've got it all. Yeah, it's all. We're all going.
Schneider's hot dogs.
Yeah, no, don't worry, Tanya. I've got it all ready to go.
And will you be watching this alone, or will you watch it with Linda and with
Linda? No. She doesn't have time for such nonsense. I'll be watching it with William.
With William? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Natalie, she doesn't understand.
She doesn't have time to. She doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciates it.
Matt, how's your week?
No.
I mean, it's been up and down, but overall good. I would say I'm kind of with Victor, but I don't have time to take 4 hours out of my life. So I've tweeted out earlier. I'm hitting it in like 15-minute increments. So I'm treating it like a season of something. So I'm just pinging it off, and I'm 3 episodes in, I guess. So about an hour in. So what, 3 more hours? Fuck, it's going to take a long time. But so far, I'm impressed.
Oh, you're watching it already. Wow.
Yeah, I started it today. I goes up at 6 a.m. with the dog. So I watched 15, 20 minutes for the dog pissed me off. And then I keep going. So I'm picking it up as I go. And I'm impressed so far. And I've been completely annoyed by the whole DC verse crap that they've released. I don't think any of them have been good. There's been a couple that have been.
The first Wonder Woman was good. The first Wonder Woman. Yes.
It was good. It was also bad. Like the last act of the movie was a disaster, but the first 2 were good.
Nothing stood out as like, that's awesome, you have to see it. There was Wonder Woman, I think, was the best of them.
Gal Gadot stood out as that's awesome. You got to see it.
Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot. Come on, get it right.
Respect the name. Anyways, so there's that, and I'm working through that season of Justice League, so that's fun. And then I learned that I learned I still remember how to snowboard, so that was fun. I did get, despite all this COVID nonsense, the wife and I did get out for an evening of boarding, which was really great. And
better boarding than boredom.
Still be able. Exactly. And I didn't break anything, and I got down the hill, and there's a poppers on the screen.
Careful, Crystal. Tanya might think you're playing with yourself if you're.
Yeah.
He kept on creeping over slowly. I'm like, stop it.
No,
you know what?
He's welcome. He's welcome on the produce stand. What's his name? Is it first of all?
Roscoe.
Roscoe, very nice.
Roscoe.
And what kind of puppy is Roscoe?
Beagle pit mix.
Oh, he's cute.
He was actually a foster, and I just didn't give him back.
So kidnapped, in other words, is what you're saying. Or dog napped.
For a price.
Tanya, how's your week?
Oh my gosh. My week's been busy. Yesterday was one of those days, though. I finally made a call into a doctor for our son, and had to deal with his ingrown toenail, which is very infected. So that was not a great event that took place yesterday. So it sounds like we're going to have to schedule an appointment to have the sections of the nail removed completely. So not looking forward to that, but wow, was he ever a trooper. I said to him, I'm like, what do you want? Like, I wish you were of the age that I could offer you a whiskey. I'm like, what can I give you? At least let's stop in for ice cream. I'm like, there was a drive-through ice cream place near the clinic. So I was able to give him one of those at least, but things are better today than yesterday. So yeah, busy.
All right.
God.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, I feel his pain. I had mine removed when I was around his age, actually. So I know exactly. Like, I think he inherited my toes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
My week. Yeah, I know it's weird, but it's true. My week was super.
What a great conversation for all the foot fetishers.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, come on, if you can talk about trains, I can talk about toes.
Let's hear about everyone's toes.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of people with like foot issues out there. Like,
apparently, it's a very common thing.
Yeah. My week was super stressed, so I don't want to talk about the stressful part, but I do want to talk about what happened to me today, and I'm kicking myself just because of where I work, and I should have known better, and god damn it, I got taken. So we ordered something from somewhere in China over Christmas for Owen, and it never came. We thought maybe it got caught up in customs. We think it still probably caught up in customs because of COVID. But anyway, today I got a text from what looked like UPS saying, you have a package that's held up in customs. You need to pay $2. Wow. I know. I'm not proud of this. I'm sharing. No. I'm sharing so that others don't fall into the same trap. Because let me explain myself.
He's sleep deprived.
Go for it.
You have to say. Yeah, he is very sleep deprived.
I'm very sleep deprived and stressed.
He's such a good boy.
But anyway, so I got the text and it said the package is waiting, but it's held up at customs. You need to pay. It was a $2 customs charge. I'm like, fine, whatever. So I go through the payment thing, and it's a very sophisticated like online payment pros, even the kind where you can scan your credit card in order to right, exactly.
You're so cute, Al.
Exactly. So anyway, so I enter my credit card information and I go to pay, and then it starts like insisting that I need to enter my information to win an iPhone or something. Like, I don't want a fucking iPhone. I'm not an Apple person. I don't want an iPhone. So I'm looking for where I can skip this so I can just go and pay for, and I couldn't. And suddenly
like Social Security, please.
Right. And I'm like, so the more I struggle to try to skip this whole draw thing, the more I'm realizing, wait a minute, this is really strange, because if this were like actual UPS, this would be a lot easier, a lot quicker. And I realized, holy fuck, I've been taken, because then I started getting like random pop-ups on my phone and stuff like that from this exact same company. So I had to go, I got online, I canceled my credit card. I reported it stolen. I'm getting a new one in 8 to 10 days, and I'm feeling like a schmuck because I should know better. And I got taken, and God damn it. Like,
everyone learn from Al.
Yes, learn from my mistake.
Don't do what Al does.
Yeah.
Wait a second. You were too embarrassed to fess up to the card company and tell you and ask?
No, because
the fraud department?
I had to report it stolen, because if I just reported for replacement, then the card they'd send me would have the same number. So that
No. What I'm saying is reported as fraud, that you were fraudulated.
Well, I didn't have that option. I didn't have that or fraudulated. No, I didn't have the option. I just reported it stolen, because technically they stole it. They now have the information, they can use it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I needed them to send me a new card with a different number and to cancel.
Sure.
And I was able to anyway. So
I feel embarrassed.
Yeah. So, but
anyway,
but you know,
fucking embarrassing.
They have a lot of those scams. We get a lot of emails.
But you're not even a little old lady.
Look, they caught me at the right time, and again, we were waiting for this package, so it made sense that I was anyway. It was.
They know.
Right.
How do they know?
Yeah,
by
it's
the way,
fucked up.
you know, they always send something when you're like, oh yeah, I'm definitely expecting something right now.
So anyway,
they're like horoscopes.
Mm-hmm.
They send them to everyone, and they play the cards.
Yeah.
You know, horoscopes are so generic that there's always something in there. You're like, that sounds like me.
You're right. So,
I was almost taken because my SIN number. We had just recently. I had given my
Social
SIN
Security to the Americans.
Yeah. I had given my SIN number over to our broker, and I had just gave it to him, and then I received a phone call saying that somebody's used my SIN number, and I'm being impersonated or whatever. Anyways, I was panicking, thinking, "Oh my God, this has happened, and I have to follow these instructions that they're giving me." And then I found out, no, this is like just
a scam.
A scam. And it's like you fall for, especially if there's something that's like already happening in your life that you're like, oh, that could be because of this. And then you
horoscope. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A SIN number is something you give to the priest before confession.
No, it's a social insurance number. Yeah. Crystal, how was your week? Better than mine, I hope.
Yeah. Well, to touch on that real quick, we get a lot of emails at work from our boss asking to go and buy $3,000 in Amazon gift cards. You know, please do me a favor. We need you to do this right away, blah, blah, blah. And we've had some reps go out and buy $3,000 worth of cards and, you know, email me the codes, and it'll be like, you know, our boss's email address at like elementop.com.
Yeah,
you know, it's not our email, but nobody pays attention to the alias.
You just you can reply.
If you're not paying attention, or if you're new at the company and you're like, oh God, he needs us to do this right now. Quick, go to Target, get the gift cards.
Yeah.
But I have not fallen for it. So that's
I wish there was just a way that we could report it and have that crook.
Yeah, I just want to reach through the phone and strangle them. Is what I want to do.
Like I want there to be, and our son's techie, and I'm like, okay, here's your $1 million idea. Figure out a way that you can press a button and the charges go back to that person. Like when they try to do a phone call to you, that you can charge them somehow for calling you.
Or just to get caught. Like my debit card's been stolen. Someone put like $300 worth of lingerie on it. I mean, they gave me the money back, but like,
was it stolen, or did you have $300 of lingerie in your closet right now, don't you?
It wasn't even, I mean, but they don't ship it to my address, and I'm like, wait a second, do you guys go there and pick them up, or is it just like you can have your money back and all right, those guys get their $300 in lingerie? Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
So, anyway, other than that, it was St. Patrick's Day, so it was a good week.
That's right. Happy St. Patty's Day. Yeah.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Matt, after I realized I was taken, all I could think of was that video that you and I did on fraud awareness.
I made multiple fraud awareness videos at the company we work for. This shit just makes me laugh because my general rule of thumb is I don't trust anything.
Yeah.
And again, if I ever get anything, even if it sounds even close, I'll never respond to it. I'll always pick up the phone or go to the website and call them back directly.
Normally,
that's my general rule
I would
of thumb.
too. I would too. But it just, again, the timing of it was making sense that, of course I'm getting this.
And a text message is harder to decipher than an email, like with a weird domain name or whatever.
I am much more savvy when it comes to the emails than I would have been with a text for sure. All right.
Disappointed, Al.
I know.
Moment of weakness.
I feel shame. All right.
Where's the garbage can when you need it?
Let's do our Twitter roll call. This week we have, I don't know. I think I should maybe do half of them today and half of them next week because we have 77 new followers. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I think I'll just do the first page today.
What happened? Why was there
I put out we were close to 800, so I put out a call saying, hey, can somebody help us? And we got like a ton of people.
Which is so upsetting because you're way more influential than me, Al.
That's right.
I tried to do the same thing and we got 3.
Every time Matt tries to do it, we get like 1 or 2 pity follows. And then, Anyway, so here we go. Welcome to new followers. Jessica from Washington, Rick Jules from Edmonton. You should have ghosted from Connecticut. Maybe somebody you know, Crystal. Julie
sounds like someone I'd know.
Yeah.
Country.
Julie DeCaro is blocking you from Massachusetts. Tiny Classified Ads. Todd Harmonson. Gary Grass from Manchester, Missouri. Kip Weiss. Sonia Vincent. Rob Lecan from Denver, Dave Snow, Dark and Twisty from Hell, apparently, Raleigh Fingers from Chicago, Kyle Pearson from Linwood, Washington, Craig Calgano, Joey from Queens. Maybe somebody else you might know there, Crystal. Sam.
Yeah, tri-state area. Probably know them.
Population's slow there.
Sam Kendellen, Joe Perry, not that Joe Perry. Lindsay Philaday. Snack Zyder, which I got really excited when I saw that first, thinking, wait, Zack Snyder just from Severn, Maryland. Neville Terrace from Boston, Boss Bitch, Benjamin Chode, Aaron from Chicago, Bryn Hall from Mission, BC, Davey, Brian Bullock, the Drew Spencer from Seattle, Tim Swamson, Ryan Whitford, Kay Michelle Burgess from Chicago, Dave Chapman from Palm City, Florida, Dale Rock Farm, Courtney Ray from Red Deer, Alberta, Ashley Landrum from Franklin, Indiana, Whitney, JL, Jeremy Nunn, Nira from Atlanta, Jesse Diaz, Mill, So Canada from Canada, Brain from Port Moody.
Victor fell over.
Victor got me.
I'm going to say it's not Brain, it's Brian from Port Moody, Don Scott, Sharkbite from the Milky Way, Joseph Latronica from Sussex County, New Jersey, Jason Slagle, and Ben and Alex. And I'm going to stop there. That's at 50, and we'll do the rest next week. Thank you all for following and hopefully for listening.
Well, don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
Last week, we recapped and reviewed episode 2, season 5, The Old College Try. That episode received a fresh rating from Matt, Victor, Anna, and myself, and a clearance from Tanya. According to our scientific Twitter poll, 62.5% of you agreed that Tanya was wrong, giving it a fresh, while 37.5% agreed with Tanya that the episode was just a clearance. No compost. This week, we recap and review episode 3 of season 5, Hard Right. Jay, have you done your homework? Victor?
I have.
All right.
Early.
Matt, have you done your homework?
Always, my friend.
And Tanya, have you done your homework?
Snuck under the wire.
Yes. I almost forgot last night. Yes, we both did our homework late last night. Crystal, have you done your homework?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Just to be sure.
We open with a close-up of the Ukrainian center sign as the Hicks discuss what a shame it is that Modines 2 has burned down. So there we go. We have a confirmation. Wayne comments on how it's really something how they keep losing locations to drink at. Katie says the Ukrainian center is a healthy consolation, though. Everybody knows the cheapest beers are at the Ukrainian center, with the Legion being a close second. Bonnie McMurray is now working at the Ukrainian Center, and Gail is away at a South American singles resort. Squirrely Dan, who's reading the newspaper, starts to growl. He says he's a devout pupil of social justice warriors, Professor Tricia, but he thinks in the city it's getting a wee bit out of hands. The story he was just reading was quite incredible chain of events. There are so many causes nowadays, and they're just tripping over each other.
Here's the scoop. A bunch of gals said that they were going to stop tweetings for a day at a protest for sexual abuses towards women's, and they encouraged men's to stop tweetings in support of the women's.
So what's the problem?
Oh, I wasn't finished.
Well, what happened next?
I'll tell you what happens next. Some black gals joined in on the protest, but they got mad at the white gals protesting because women's of colors didn't receive the same support on similar issues.
I think I see where you're going with this.
Well, did something happen even after that?
Something did happen after that. One of the white gals asking for supports got supports from one guy, but she told him he could fuck right off because apparently he used to call gals broads back in high schools.
But they're tweeting about not tweeting. Do I have that right?
The story goes on and just escalates, involving the president of Iceland, his daughter with Down syndrome, the Special Olympics, World Vision, war amps. Katie's heard enough of this story.
Enough's enough.
I can't handle any more.
No, there's no way there's more. There's no goddamn way.
Wait. There is more. Turns out the president of Iceland is paralyzed from the neck down, so now everybody's back on Iceland's sides again.
Well, right where they should have been the whole fucking time.
Now it's from the neck down that he's paralyzed, you say.
So how does he even make a tweet?
And they're all doing this on Twitter.
Where else but Twitter would this be happening?
On the day they're not supposed to be tweeting.
On the very same day they're not supposed to be tweeting.
Jesus.
Squirrely Dan picks the paper up again and gasps and then yells, what's happening in local news. And you cut to Wayne saying, stay tuned to find out, and cue the theme. All right. There's that cold open. Victor, what did you think of this cold open?
Yeah, it was entertaining. Like, it wasn't belly laugh kind of funny, but it was I certainly found the story more amusing and more interesting than that ridiculous ride we went on with the uncle. At the sock hop and the
exactly.
And all the
exactly,
the old we went into some other universe there, but this was amusing and I enjoyed it.
Matt, what'd you think?
See, I liked it a lot. But it's funny because something like this shit is so hard to comment on because it's so spot on.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different things going on all the time. You never know when and where and who and what and how you're commenting or impacting or being a part of or not being a part of. It's so frustrating to keep track of. And there's so many great things out there to support, and I'm all for it. But it's like I understand the frustration in this cold open because it's everything intertwines and there's all these sensitivities around everything, and rightfully so in many cases. But I thought they did a really fantastic job of capturing the struggles of Twitter and the social media world and how chaotic it can be. And half the time people are commenting on something, the other half have no idea there's even a thing to be commenting about, and then it all just gets a mess. So I thought they did a great job of capturing the chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Tanya?
I thought it was okay. Like, as I agree with Victor, it wasn't as bad as some of the other rants that
Ants on Sea-Doos.
Ants on Sea-Doo, yes, exactly. I filter off when they just kind of go back and forth one too many times for me. It gets a little bit long and drawn out, but it was all right. It had its reasons to get to the point of what the local news is.
Yeah. It wasn't a super funny cold open. I thought in terms of political commentary, I thought it was well written. I thought it was strongly written open, but not full of super laughs. But I mean, the subject matter isn't always the funniest, right? I think it's a great way of showing like how there's, you have your side but there's two sides and sometimes five sides to every story. So doesn't even if you're right, doesn't mean that somebody else isn't also right, but in a different way from you on the same subject. So, and by right, I mean correct.
Yes, there are not always good people on both sides.
Exactly. No. Yeah. No. I that I agree with. And I mean, think about the time that this was probably released. Very topical too. I mean, there was almost a throwaway line in that wasn't captured in the clip I used, where Derry said something about he'd be so mad he'd drive through. Something about plow through them or whatever with their car.
Yeah, it's better than them driving into each other.
Something like that.
Dark Dairy.
Yeah, and
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
I didn't catch that either.
Yeah, Wayne.
I didn't know it. I mean,
well, I think that alludes to that riot that happened where somebody drove their car through a bunch of rioters and that person died, right? So
sadly, which time?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. But I mean, and when Wayne stopped, said that's Dark Dairy, like that's kind of like them kind of taking a break from trying to be funny just for a second to realize the gravity of that situation, but then moving on to try to be funny again, which it's a really fine line. I thought they straddled it, and I thought they were fine. Like, this isn't going to rank among my favorite cold opens or anything, but yeah, it's also not near. It's not a bad one. It's okay. What did you think, Crystal?
I mean, it kind of hits home, especially around that time, because everything was so crazy around, with Trump and everyone being so PC, but overly PC and overly sensitive, and no one really having real opinions anymore because they were afraid to have opinions. Yeah. And then there's Twitter, which was really just a way to shit on each other, basically, for your opinions. So it kind of just like really laid it out there and made it, make sense in a nice Letterkenny way, but kind of just bringing attention to it, like it's insane there.
Yeah,
there's no one can be right or wrong. You don't have options.
Yeah, I think the funniest part there is always Wayne going back to, and they're tweeting about this because the whole thing started with the protest was they weren't going to tweet, but they're doing this all on Twitter. Yeah. Anyway, okay, we go into out of the theme into scene number 1. The scene opens on a dark SUV driving in a snowstorm. A close-up of the back of the truck reveals a Confederate flag and a Hard Right logo. Hard Right J emerges, going around back and pulls a tiki torch from the back of the SUV. He walks past a sign that reads, John Letterkenny Field, home of the Chiefs, but the sign has another smaller sign posted over it that reads, name change coming soon. Next scene, back at the Ukrainian Center, Squirrely Dan is reading about the Letterkenny Chiefs name change.
Sounds about right.
Probably for the best.
They had a good run.
The only constant in life is change, as they say.
The only constant in life is change?
A wee bit to wrap your head around there.
Or the only constant around here is everything stays the same.
Anywho.
Squirrely Dan says that according to the writers of the Letterkenny banner, the whole world's going to hells in handbaskets, and that's followed by the same chorus of "It sounds about right, probably for the best," and we had a good run. Katie says, as long as we're going in a handbasket, which Wayne challenges her, as opposed to what kind of basket. Katie says there are a bazillion different kinds of basket. Wayne responds and asks Katie to name 5 other than hand and waist paper basket. Katie answers floor basket, hanging basket, wall basket, bike basket, basketball basket. Wayne withdraws and Katie wins the argument, but Derry continues to his detriment.
Bamboo backs it, rattan backs it, wicker backs it.
Exit?
Yes, that's one of the 2 words Derry can't say, right? What's the other one, Derry?
Breakfast.
Yeah, Derry can't say the word breakfast either. You want to try, bud?
Breakfast backs it.
Oh, boy.
Attaboy.
I've actually tried to say it the way he does, and I cannot.
It's hard.
Like,
I know.
I need to read it in subtitles and then try to sound it out because he just says it so easily. Yeah, back fit.
Most of what Squirrely Dan says is hard to say or on purpose. Like when the whole sushis and sashimis was almost
sushis and sashimis.
Yeah, exactly. That's impossible. Back to the Letterkenny Chiefs. Katie asks Squirrely Dan, what are they changing the name to? Squirrely Dan says they're letting the publics decide on with online's polls, maybe scientific Twitter polls. Both Katie and Wayne thinks this is a bad idea. Currently, the Letterkenny Rough Riders is leading by a hair, proving Wayne's point.
What's the rumpus crumpus?
Don't you think that there's already too many Rough Riders in the area as it is?
You got the Renfrew Rough Riders.
And a 1.
We got the well-known Rough Riders.
And a 2.
And don't forget the Greater Madawaska Rough Riders.
And a 3. And that's just off the tippy tops of our heads.
It does get a bit confusing during playoffs.
People like to root for a Rough Rider.
Yeah, but if we're all going to be Rough Riders, why even have teams? Why not just be a big bunch of Rough Riders?
Why don't you just name the whole league Rough Riders?
Why even stop there? Why don't we just go ahead and name the whole human race Rough Riders? Like, you see what I'm saying?
Today, we are all Rough Riders.
What exactly is a Rough Rider?
I don't know. All I'm saying is that there's too many of them. Don't you see?
That's especially funny if you know anything about Canadian football.
Yeah, it's a highly Canadian joke right there.
Yeah. So, Crystal, did you understand why any of that's funny? No.
No, I don't know much about it.
So in the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League, I'm about to mansplain to you. It's a very small league. There's only 8 teams in the Canadian Football League, and it's 100 year, like the league is over 100 years old. Of those 8 Canadian teams, 2 of them were named Rough Riders.
But to be fair, one was a single word, the other were 2 words.
It doesn't matter. It was a source of embarrassment for many, many years until about 10 years ago when Ottawa finally they folded, and when they restarted again, Saskatchewan wouldn't let them have the name Rough Riders, so they had to pick a different name. But
and they came up with the brilliant name, the Red Blacks.
Yes, the Red Blacks. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
this is our very tough version of the NFL here in Canada, which we go an extra 10 yards longer in each end.
There's only 3 downs.
We have one less down, so it's more of a throw.
Yeah, it's more of a challenge in our sport.
Oh, that's all gonna change once they merge with the XFL. Anyway, that's all just to say that whole scene there was very funny, I think, to most Canadians, but probably lost on everyone else. Katie asks what other names are in the running. Second place is the Letterkenny Muff Riders. Derry can get behind that one.
Do we need to explain that one to Tanya?
No, it's not the Mitt Riders.
There's no D in this script.
I ask one question.
Derry can get behind.
Not a safe place here. It's not safe.
That is correct. at a girl. Derry can get behind the name Muff Riders. Third place is Letterkenny Footfuckers. Derry wonders if that shouldn't be in first place on account that the word has foot in it, and it's for the Letterkenny soccer team, which is hilarious because I'm thinking football. So when they say soccer team, I'm like, really? Like that's completely unexpected.
Is football soccer in Canada?
Soccer is soccer. So when I say Canadian Football League, the football league is actual. It looks like American football. It's just with a quarterback and with a lot of tackling and stuff.
Gotcha.
Fourth place is a tie between the big Nickelbacks.
But just so you know, we do have a soccer team in Toronto that we call the FC, which stands for Football Club. So there you go.
It's all very confusing. Yeah.
Figure it out.
But a mitt is a mitt in the U.S. and in Canada. Got it.
And a muff.
Yay,
and a muff all means the same thing.
All right, fourth place is a tie between the big Nickelbacks and the 69ers. Derry, Katie, and Squirrely Dan think these are good choices. Wayne continues to grumble. All right, we're derailing here. Okay, next scene. At the Skid's lair, we have a replay of the previous episode where Stuart is frantically pacing back and forth, anxiously waiting for something, and that something arrives in the form of Everett and his computer with the dark web. A struggle ensues, and Stuart... yes, it is in small... It's in small font.
Thank you.
A struggle ensues as Stuart tries to grab the computer, but Everett resists until he can get his meth. Rold gets knocked down in the melee. Both Rold and Everett chastise Stuart for being addicted to the dark web. Stuart takes him down with his forced choke move. Stuart grabs a laptop and logs into the dark web. He immediately hears Hard Right J announcing to Letterkenny that the hard right is inside of them. Stuart is confused. He doesn't seem to be playing any video. Then the Skids realize that the voice is actually Hard Right J in their lair. A few unpleasantries are exchanged, and Hard Right J is upset about the soccer team's impending name change. The only reaction he gets from the Skids is confusion. So Hard Right J gets down to business.
Are you ready to join the Hard Right?
Politics? We're anarchists.
Yeah, who cares if the soccer team changes its name? The Hard Right, that's who. Chiefs is a strong name. I remember a time when
being called a chief was a good thing. People like to root for a chief. This used to be the heartland. Now it is just the other heartland of far left liberal cucks. Did somebody get their feelings hurt? Did somebody sign a petition? Newsflash, you're all caving to PC culture. You're just a bunch of far left liberal fucking pinko snowflakes.
Oh, we've been called worse.
But might as well just change the name to Letterkenny Cucks. Regional champs of Kakistan.
Okay.
This is what the failed patriarchy looks like. I'm so sick of you beta male SJWs.
We are not SJWs.
I actually identify as a wood nymph.
B.
Oh, we'll
That's
be
my
gone.
favorite
Just
part.
as soon as you betas show us where the alphas are. I'll see myself out. I assume all of you are following suit.
Oh,
He talks more than I do.
That was weird.
It's amazing.
Oh, man. Next.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
sorry. I was gonna say real quick. Does his Darth Vader powers work on other people other than Skids? Is that the guy who came in because he was working on him when he was strangling him for the Darth
It's true.
So I've seen him in a couple fights, maybe in future episodes, where it seems like it works on other people.
I know. I know the one you're talking about in season 9, and I'm
Yep,
thinking the same thing. Like, wait a minute, because up until then, I'm like, okay, he's just doing it, and his Skid buddies are humoring him. But in that fight, anyway, yeah. So
I just want to say that I did my homework and I watched the movie, the How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes.
And I closed my eyes during the scene to see whether I could actually picture him, and I could. So
you could hear Hiccup being
I did my homework
a
on that
raving
too.
racist.
But did you love the movie? Because I love the
did
movie.
love the movie. Yeah, we're on number 3 this weekend. Yeah,
Nice.
looking forward to
You
it.
get to meet the Light Fury.
Yes.
All right, let's get back to Letterkenny.
I've watched too many kids movies.
And you're resetting again, so you get to watch them all over again. Next scene, back at the Ukrainian Center, the Hicks are still at the bar, minus Katie. Hard Right Jay walks in with the Skids.
Ah, yes. Now we're talking the alphas. Real men. No matriarchy in sight.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Hard Right Jay, and I represent the Hard Right, a group with far-right ideologies that rejects mainstream conservatism and endeavors to promote white nationalism.
Oh, white nationalism. Good thing Gail, the owner of the old bars, ain't here.
Oh, small-town bar owner? What is she, like a good 6th-generation Scottish woman?
No.
What are you just getting on about over there?
Do you dinks bring these dudes here?
What's the first meal of the day, Daryl?
Your mom.
Attaboy.
Breakfast!
Attaboy.
Attaboy.
After delivering Hard Right Jay to the Alphas, the Skids make their awkward skittish retreat, leaving the Hicks to deal with the problem. Hard Right Jay proceeds to judge the Hicks on their appearance, thinking they're on his side. He goes on a tirade of hard right stereotypes and conspiracy theories.
We are a movement.
Bowel movement by the looks of it.
Ah, hachi, machi, I like your fire. We could use more women in the movement. We have next to none for reasons we can't quite decode. Yes, pitter patter. All lives matter. Newsflash, the out-of-control PC police are forcing your beloved Letterkenny Chiefs to change their name.
Yeah, we caught that.
Yeah, well, we're here to protest that. Our legions of brothers will be joining me at John Letterkenny Field later, and we want you, the salt of the earth alphas, the stewards of traditional morals, traditional values, the silent majority, to join us. The fight against poor, uneducated libtards requires nothing short of a massacre.
You're a bit fucking dramatic, eh?
Why is keeping the name of Chiefs important to you?
It isn't.
Oh, it's not. It isn't.
Well, not really in the long run.
Nor the short run, really.
Yeah, no need to get your jimmies all out of joint.
Unfazed by the setback, Hard Right Jay asks the Hicks if they understand how important it is to fight the left. Squirrely Dan didn't know it was necessary, much less important.
The point is, the government is trying to keep you and your humble agricultural livelihoods thoroughly cocked. It's time to wake up and smell the chemtrails. It's time to stand up for your God-given right to have kick-ass names for all your favorite teams and fuck anybody whose feelings get hurt along the way.
Was that what time it is?
Wayne comes up with a compromise. He'll fight Hard Right Jay for it. If he loses, they'll join the protest. But if he wins, nothing. They want nothing in return. Hard Right Jay calls the Hicks a bunch of... Oh,
Did you catch the subtle? And I mean, this is how I answered. Did you catch the subtle nod to Brad Pitt's Piker from Snatch? He's like, "I fight you, fire it."
Oh, okay. I was wondering because I didn't realize that was the reference, but I did realize that he said that with
love that movie.
More of an Irish accent than he would normally do. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that as a nod to the Snatch movie and how Brad Pitt interacts in there. So I fight you for it. That's he says it multiple times in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now that you say it makes sense. Hard Right J calls the Hicks a bunch of social justice warriors and leaves ranting and raving. Okay, next scene. Riley and Jonesy are outside the hockey dressing room, psyching themselves up for their first day of coaching the Shamrockettes. But then they're interrupted by Hard Right J.
Hockey, eh? Fastest sport on earth. And the whitest too, arguably, so bonus points there.
Okay, the Catholic school game's on the other rink.
We just thought you strapping alphas might want to know that the globalists are trying to turn your small town into a hive of post-castrati extremism.
What the fuck's castrati?
Oh, it's pasta, bro.
Oh, it's pronounced pasta, bro.
Is it?
Hard Right J goes on to warn Riley and Jonesy that today it's the Letterkenny Chiefs, and who knows, tomorrow might be the Shamrocks. This doesn't have the desired effect. Riley and Jonesy say they try to keep things PC. They both agree that they think Hard Right J is a goof, buddy. But when Riley and Jonesy start talking about how they're not really fans of the Shamrocks name and they wouldn't be opposed to the idea of changing it, enter Marianne and Betty Ann.
What's this about a name change? If anybody should change their names, it should be us. What the hell's a shamrockette anyway? A leaf with tits?
Oh, this isn't your matriarch, is it?
You can't just add "et" to the end of the men's team and expect women to like it. We should change our names to something fierce and feminine and powerful, like the Screaming Banshees.
That's good, Marianne. Impressive creativity.
Couple of hens clucking away.
Especially for a girl who had to start kindergarten 2 years late because she couldn't grasp coloring.
I have plenty of good ideas, Betty Ann. Like convincing your dad to get a vasectomy so I wouldn't have to worry about another you coming into the world while I fucked him.
We were just starting to get them under control.
You're screwing it up, bro. You're getting them all fired up again.
Bringing family into it now, Marianne, I would never stoop so low. Especially with the recent passing of your mother, who told me before she died that my dad is your dad, too.
You're fucking up our progress, man. Just get out of here.
It's only gonna get worse, too. Thanks a lot.
These Tumblerinas have lost the plot anyway. Letterkenny Chiefs! Letterkenny Chiefs!
My favorite part there, Jonesy's looks to Hard Right J going, "Come on, we just got them to calm down and you're fucking it all up."
It's gonna get worse.
Yeah. Next scene, out on the soccer field for the protest during a blizzard, there are about a dozen protesters holding tiki torches. Hard Right J is wondering where everyone is. They need people to protest and piss off and agitate. Whose idea was this stupid name change anyway?
Ours. What's up, Nazis?
Nazi? Hilarious.
Ain't nothing funny about this, honky.
No, but Nazi, really Nazi? Would a Nazi ride a Yamaha scooter?
A pansy Nazi? Sure.
Would a Nazi have a Jew for a lawyer?
Could you refer me, asshole? Because I'm going to need one in a minute.
Would a Nazi own a game-worn Tim Duncan jersey?
You sniff that shit before bed at night, Cupcake?
Would a Nazi's favorite snacks include ramen, pad thai, or pho?
Pronounced fuck. Fuck, dummy.
All right, would a Nazi get turned on by interracial gangbang porn?
Who fucking doesn't?
Who fucking doesn't?
Hard Right J senses he's Hard Right J senses he's losing his argument, so he tries switching tactics.
All right, I think we all need to chill out here, getting ahead of ourselves. We are an inclusive movement. I think you should join us.
Is that what we should do?
Yes! Think about it, Sacagawea. We share a lot. We have a lot in common. We both pride ourselves on traditional values, traditional morals. We share a very anti-immigration stance. You know, if you think about it, we actually share a lot of common ground.
Historically, sharing ground hasn't been your strong suit.
Oh, that's my favorite line.
That's the best.
That's best line of the episode. Tanis and the other natives take turns making fun of the right-wing protesters. Then finally, Hard Right J lashes back.
Yeah, look, I get it. You're frustrated. It must be really exhausting never paying taxes your whole lives.
All right. Enough chin wagging.
Another hand clucking away.
Hey, no one had a problem with this. No one had a problem until yous came to town.
That's it. The hard right. Coming to a town near you.
Yeah, we didn't come here to counter protest. Ain't nothing peaceful gonna happen today.
Hey, we don't practice violence.
We do.
We don't practice violence, but we are prepared for it.
All right, let's go then. Let's do this.
You in what army?
That one.
And cue the opera fight montage. Hard Right Jay turns around to see two of his protesters being bowled over by Squirrely Dan. The fight is on as Axe and Slash charge into the fight while Shania lights a cigarette and is joined by Katie. Derry and Wayne join the fight as well. Hard Right Jay stays out of the fight and backs into Tanis, who throws him to the ground and knocks him out with one punch. Atta girl.
I love her.
She's got those rings on too.
Oh, yeah.
I
Those
noticed,
big
right?
Turquoise rings.
Yeah.
That was my, like when they do it in slow motion, I was like, that left a mark. And then she's like, takes it off, gets up, walks away, no big deal.
Back at the Ukrainian Center, Tanis joins the Skids for a celebratory post-fight drink. Squirrely Dan goes back to the newspaper.
Well, it looks like they canceled the online polls to pick the new team name.
Oh, is that what they did?
Yeah, it seems like the Muff Riders was running away with it.
Footfuckers made most sense by far. I'm disappointed.
What are they going with instead?
Rough Riders.
Of course they are.
Playoffs start next week.
Who they playing?
Renfro Rough Riders.
That's going to be a really good game.
Must be hard kicking the ball in the snow. My money's on the Rough Riders.
You're crazy. I got the Rough Riders by a mile.
Care to make it interesting?
I'll put $10 on the Rough Riders.
Make it 20.
I'll take that.
I'm in too.
See, Wayne? People love to cheer for a Rough Rider.
The world's going to hell in a handbasket, big brother.
In a what, Derry? Prefix back set.
And fade
basket.
to black. All right. Victor, initial thoughts.
Yeah, initial thoughts are just, really good. Really good. I enjoyed the episode. There's a couple of, oddities there that I had a raised eyebrow on, but we'll kind of uncover those. But overall, anytime you get to see far right folks get, their comeuppance handed to them at the end, it's always a good thing.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. I like when they take a shot at a serious topic, like something that's. I mean, politics are always big. I mean, this was this aired in 2018, so it was in between U.S. elections. But I mean, even in Canada, I mean, we have right and left, but it's not as obvious. I mean, like, and I know in the U.S. I think it's called out a little bit more, but it's not as clear. So I like that they really, right.
Just a tad.
Yeah, but I like how they really made an exaggerated version of this in Hard Right Jay. So I thought they did a really good job, and I thought this one was really well scripted. That made me really happy. I thought they hit a lot of points. The whole small town aspect and the name change topic, which I think became bigger and around the time that this came out. So it was very on point when they aired this episode. It is great. And I think what it also drew attention to the fact that, I mean, the majority don't give a shit. Not in a negative way, but like it doesn't phase people. Like, oh, you say I want to change the name for the Chiefs because it's dated. We can't do that anymore. We need to update ourselves. Okay, fine. Most people don't care. It's like, that's fine. It's not a big deal. But the ones that do care make the most noise and typically in the most negative way. So I liked how this approach, because the whole town didn't really care. They're like, why is this a big deal? This doesn't bother us at all. Yeah. But I think that was a good message and how the majority typically thinks. But I mean,
that's still happening now with the hoopla around the Mr. Potato Head. Like, does anyone really care? Like, really? No.
We just bought him as Potato Head.
I'm sorry. What about
it's
that?
It's a fucking toy.
Yeah,
well,
what happened?
Well, I think they're going to put out the toy as not a Mr. or Mrs., but just a potato head, and that's fine. Like
gender neutral potato head.
Yeah, so
you can
the people that
make
care,
your own potato head.
Exactly.
Okay,
I'm sorry, there was a Mr. and a Mrs. There's no Mr. and Mrs. anymore?
Well, I think you can still get Mr. and Mrs., but now they're going to also put out a general neutral one that you can do whatever you want with it.
So the actual, all the parts for Mr. and Mrs. in one.
Yeah.
So you can kind of
They're going to put out a potato the way it was before it was Mr. or Mrs.
It's an adult, just all eyes. But anyway, like who cares? It's a toy. Like if this makes it more acceptable
that's the point. People don't care.
Exactly.
The people that care are the same people that cared that when we changed our Canadian anthem, right? Or that one word.
Yeah.
It's like most people didn't care, except the ones that did were the ones that were the Don Cherries of the world, right?
And I want to be clear. It's not that no one cares. It's we don't even think about it. It doesn't even cross people's mind to make that an issue. So and I get it might be an issue, but it doesn't even enter our mind space to think, oh, I need to change this, or this isn't okay. And a lot of things aren't actually a problem, but people make them a problem. But some things legitimately are. So I mean, that's why this whole episode is like
don't realize
diving into these sensitivities around who you're. It's the cold open, and this is why I love the cold open, because it really layered well into the rest of the tone of the episode in these different ways of thinking. So I thought it was great.
What's important about these things is that sometimes it's ignorance. People don't care out of ignorance, right? So an example, I never as a kid made a connection between the Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima products being racist products. But that's just out of pure ignorance. Like, I don't know. How am I supposed to know? But then once I learned why that was indeed such a problem, I couldn't believe that it went on for so many years and decades. Acceptable. Right. So I think these are great things when they happen, and sometimes it doesn't matter, but then other times it's like it doesn't matter, but it's a great learning opportunity as well.
There are so many things in our past that we watched, like Pepe Le Pew.
That's the other one that's happening right now that's being canceled.
And it's
I don't know this one.
And it's like Pepe Le Pew, I grew up with it every weekend. The Cheerio box was opened. I sat in front of the TV and I watched my cartoons. And all those cartoons now, you look back on them and you're going, holy crap, I cannot show these to my children. Like my poor daughter is like, okay, what kind of message is this? Like, wow, I can't believe I watched this.
It's all perspective.
It is perspective. I mean, when you know better, you do better.
Imagine your four-year-old or whatever sitting with a friend watching, an old Speedy Gonzales cartoon, and that friend happens to be Mexican. It's like, wait a second, what the heck is going on here? Why do they have these drunken mice lying around, acting all stupid, right? So it's all perspective, right? It's and that's the thing. I think it's always good that we're making this progress. And this episode, again, that's why. How can you not love this episode? Because it's like, regardless of whether it's perfect or not, the message is great. It's done so well. It's written so well. And they take a sensitive and a difficult topic, and they blow it out of the water. I think it was great.
Tanya?
I loved the build up. Hard right, going from person to person, station to station, and trying to get support, and then the buildup of being then with Tanis, and him saying these crazy things, and it's like, oh, like I can't believe they said that. Like I can't believe they actually put the words in the show, like all the things that he was saying, and it's like, oh, he's so gonna get his ass kicked. And I was like so excited that she was going to throw down that punch. And I always look forward to when Tanis like lays it all out and makes it all right again.
I mean, it seems like season 5 is the season for commentary, social commentary. I mean, if you think about We Don't Fight at Weddings, I love that one because that one kind of showed me how different this show was in terms of making that statement about gay marriage. And now this one, they sacrificed a little bit of funny for message, but the script was really, really solid, really well written. I think they straddled that line perfectly. Maybe a little too far to the serious side, but in this case, I give them license because the the message was important and was a good message. So I liked it. I mean, and it introduced a bunch of things that we'll laugh about later, like Derry not being able to say the word breakfast comes back. Although there's a continuity error there, because I have pointed out in earlier episodes that he has said the word breakfast properly. But I think in season 5,
you've also said the word Massachusetts properly too sometimes. But
good for you, Victor. Good
well played, Victor.
Anyway, yes, I enjoyed this episode very much. Crystal?
Yeah, same. I think it made a serious situation kind of relatable and funny, and made them a caricature of themselves. Worst word to say.
Put that up with Massachusetts.
One thing I was trying to figure out is Hardwick J. Is he American? Because he's coming up like almost as like a really alt-left, hard-left American. He's got the Confederate flag, and it's just everything about him seems American.
I agree.
Sadly, in our town, like around the corner from here, there are Confederate flags flying. So that sort of ugly ignorance still happens.
We have them here as well, Crystal. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, that threw me off. I was like, did he drive up from the South or something? To go we had here to get mad about the Letterkenny Chiefs.
Well, even during the election, we had idiots in Toronto storming up and down as Trump supporters, it's so they're everywhere, and they share the same kind of general beliefs as that hard right.
Yeah, and it does go 50-50 in this country as well. Our elections are very close between conservative and liberal or kind of more leftist sides. It's just our conservatives aren't as hard right, Jay, but
yet
tomato.
Yet, but it's the influence from the South is coming up here, unfortunately.
The hard right Jays of the world, they do make me laugh sometimes. So this was seeing the serious ones that are in my area as well. This kind of just makes me like, this is really what you look like to people. Like as hard as you try. But I did enjoy the episode. I thought it was a good message. I thought they had their funny moments, and it wasn't the funniest, but it did bring out some really good just points that need to be talked about or at least addressed. And at the time where it came out too, it was super relevant. Now that Trump's not in office anymore, it's a different vibe. I mean, they're still there, they're just not as vocal and open. So
the Roaches just went, they went into hiding again, but they're still there.
Because they're just not allowed on Twitter anymore. So it's actually, it was weird when they banned Trump's account for a while. I was like, I don't know where he is at all times now, and that makes me nervous. Like I knew where he was, and I followed him just kind of purely for entertainment value, but like you always kind of had an eye on him, see, what's he doing, golfing, whatever. But now I'm like, where is he? No one knows. Like he has no social, like he's got to be brewing something bad. I don't know if it's like an evil villain.
Oh gosh.
But so
anyway, all right,
so
let's move on to episode ratings. Victor, what would you give this episode?
Well, so I'll share with you what I didn't like about the episode. So it wasn't the fact that it wasn't so funny or it was a little more serious. I didn't have an issue with any of that. I thought it was that balance was totally fine for me. What I didn't get, and again, I shouldn't be pointing these things out just because the skids are so weird, but when they brought Hard Right to the Ukrainian center, I totally did not get what the hell they were doing. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you on? What is this whole act about? And when Stuart kind of fell backwards and they took him away, and the whole spitting part. What the hell is going on right now? What are you guys doing, and what's happening?
Skids being skids.
I know. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like because he was looking for the alphas, and the way he walked out, he like a rooster that they kind of like followed him. So I don't know if he was like
the Pied
trying
Piper.
to say like I'm your alpha, follow me, and then they got there and they were just like, oh shit. This isn't going to
I feel like they were, I feel like they had this problem that was a hard right J, and they needed to unload him on someone. And so when he asked for alphas, he's like, "Oh, we know some. Let's take you there." And then bye. We're leaving.
It just that exit was just so weird.
Yes, the exit was very super awkward, but funny. I thought it was was hilarious, but
what does SJW stand for?
Social Justice Warrior. Yeah.
Okay. I should have.
It's
I could look it up, but then I probably won't get there. I probably won't get the right.
Yeah, she'll get some other acronym that like the whole. You're on mute there, Matt.
In context of Letterkenny SJW.
They're the on the other side of hard right.
Was that your only issue with the episode? The skids there.
That and the other one was a purposeful is when we first see Hard Right J in his car, that horrible god awful song that they were playing. My God, what the hell was that nonsense? I hope you didn't add that to the Letterkenny.
We're gonna be checking out with that.
I don't even remember.
I don't know.
How was it memorable to you? I don't even know what it was.
I can't recall.
I would try to even imitate it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It was just like a loud horn-ish kind of noise.
Yeah. It was like a little. It made your ears bleed a little bit.
That's probably why.
I guess it was relevant for him coming into the scene. It was something perfect. Horrible and screechy and annoying.
It was perfect. It was the perfect song. That's the music that Hard Right J would listen to, of course.
So you didn't like that then?
No, I didn't. No. I'm not faulting the episode for it. I'm just pointing out just another kind of. Just pointing out a part of the episode I didn't enjoy, but I got it.
Okay, and that's all to say that you give this what?
A fresh.
Oh, all right. Wow, that was a long way to get to a fresh. Awesome, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I'll lead. It's a fresh.
Yeah.
This one was so much fun.
Oh, Matt, you're what happened?
Oh,
you went mute.
God.
Okay,
Dude,
I don't know how that. I swear to
finger
God, I
off
didn't
of
hit
the
the damn button. I'm not even touching the fucking keyboard. I'm playing with these little magnets.
Stop.
Well, apparently the magnet. That's a magnet.
God damn it.
Maybe that's doing it.
I love your face.
Okay, get the magnets away from the keyboard. Magnets and technology don't
Put the
work.
magnets down.
Well, all I got was it was a fresh, and then you went.
My hands are in my pockets now. Don't worry.
Okay, now Tanya's going to accuse you of playing with yourself.
No. I know that there was no puppy that came
that's
into the
okay. So it was a fresh. This one was great. Yeah, it wasn't the funniest episode, but there was a lot of great in this. Again, I stand by that. The message was fantastic. I agree with Victor that the part of the skids, it was fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I didn't fully understand it, but there was a lot of. I mean, having anything with Marianne and Betty Ann and that they fucking kill me. They are ruthless and brutal, and their insults are just. I wish they would just keep going. I'd love to hear them go on and on, and I can't get sick of them. And the fact that she's sitting there brushing her teeth, I don't know why, but that made me laugh. So little things along the way. I mean, the whole comment around pho versus faux. That's a regular argument in this household.
Oh, really? Oh, my
God. Oh, yeah. And I don't understand why we live in Toronto where everything's available and food culture is very hot. So I don't know why we have that as an argument. But and then straight up to, I mean, Chris Levy called it, but the whole ending with Tanis. And I thought the buildup was so great. The whole, from start to finish, I thought they told a great story. It was a very one-dimensional story in this one.
Yeah.
But I thought they did it very well. And then to end it on such a cultural divide, and then Tanis just putting him in his place, I thought was fantastic. So I thought this was a very fantastic episode in terms of storytelling and setting the scene and the message. I don't think they could have done any better on this one.
All right, Tanya.
I agree with Victor and Matt. I don't like thinking about the world having hard right J's in it. It makes me cringe that there are people like that that are just anyways, it
a little terrifying.
It's terrifying. It bothers me to no end. Like I remember my first time in Portugal and seeing going to Lisbon, and we turned the corner and there was a swastika up on graffiti on the building. And I didn't even know that, like, I'm in my own little bubble on a daily basis. And I didn't even know that still even existed in the world. Like, I was so caught off guard that shit still happens. Mm-hmm. And to watch an episode where this is the storyline. I know that this is a regular occurrence. I know that this happens. I know it's out there on a daily basis. And I love that Tanis was able to get the job done and put a stop to it. And for that reason, I'll give it a fresh.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to put this to bed. I give it a fresh as well. So.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Wait.
Our first unicorn of season 5. Oh, and Victor changes his background.
I regret nothing.
Yeah, this one's a case where substance, trumps style.
As he giggles.
It wasn't the funniest, but it was well written. It was just really well executed, and I agreed with the message. So I'm going to give it a fresh. And I mean, it's got everything that we like about this show in terms of, we had the community once again coming together despite everyone's differences. They came together to fight a common enemy. It wasn't that long ago that the Hicks and the natives were at each other's throats, and then this time they were backing each other up, and it was great. I have nothing else to say about it. It's a fresh. Crystal, what do you give this episode?
I also give it a fresh.
All right.
Yeah. And not just because y'all did too. It just put out the right message. It kind of made fun in places where it should, and kind of, I guess maybe even opened some people's eyes to how ridiculous some of these hard lefts or hard right.
Probably not, but I get what you're saying.
I would hope that it would enlighten people, but at least make them laugh about it and kind of, just open your mind a little bit and see how ridiculous this could really be. It doesn't need to be that. Like the college I went to, we were the Merrimack Warriors. It was a Native American mascot, and then they changed it to a Trojan Warrior. No one cared. Everyone was like, all right, cool. Seems logical.
Now you can have the condom as a sponsor. You make more money.
It's pretty much the same logo, I guess. Oh crap! I never thought about that. Well, that was after I graduated. But even there's a lot of schools in Massachusetts.
Mascot can be a condom.
Yeah.
Actually, shit, it's pretty damn close now that like I said, it was after I graduated. But there's a lot of schools in Massachusetts where these logos are being changed. And I didn't realize a lot of Massachusetts schools had Native American mascots.
Keep saying it.
Yeah, you're just rubbing it in right now. Yes, you can say it.
Is it making anyone uncomfortable?
No.
Well done.
I see what you did there.
Not a girl.
See that? But yeah, I mean, no one seemed to care. No one seemed to make a big deal out of it. So I think this was I don't know. I was a fresh. We'll put it that way. I
awesome.
The only thing that I was surprised that they didn't do was chirp at him. Like there was in no of the little mini episodes or whatever you want to call them. There was no chirping at Hard Right.
But that's the brilliant. You know what? That's the brilliance of how they were handling it. I wish I could be as reserved as the Hicks were, especially in those scenes where Hard Right Jay's just barking all these ridiculous stereotypes and ridiculous like conspiracy theorems at them, and they're just sitting there going, "Oh, really? Oh, is that what happens? Is that what they do?"
But that's
I can't do that. I want to yell back at them, and that's probably the wrong tact, because when you start yelling, then their back goes up and they start yelling louder, and then that's when you get the confrontation.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah, the Hicks are just like, "Oh, really? Is that what you think?" Huh? Yeah. And they're not trying to disprove, or just like let them talk, let them say.
The show though, on so many times they have like really ripped apart a person to the point where they're like absolutely
But we're on a different scale here, Tanya.
It is.
Like,
that is.
I
You're
think
right.
this was a great teaching moment. And you raised a good point here because they were brilliant in how they handled him.
Yeah.
They let him vent. They hit a point where then they kicked his ass.
Yeah.
But they let him vent because they're like, it doesn't matter what the fuck we say to him right now.
Yeah.
He's not going to change his mind. It's going to aggravate him further. He's going to get more radical. He's going to say more nonsense. It's going to piss us off even more. So let him have his fun and get the hell out of here. We'll move on with our day.
Yeah.
So I thought it was brilliant actually in how they handled him.
I really
the best
enjoyed
way
it.
to deal with that situation in like real life. You can't just keep fighting back. Just all right, say what you got to say. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool opinion. All right. See you
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
And then that'll just infuriate them more.
Yeah, and it's not a message to say roll over and take this shit, but I mean, when people are in this mind state, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, and it's I mean, aside from like escorting them, handling them out of there, you're not going to change that situation.
Yeah, you can show them all the evidence you want to the contrary. It won't matter. All right. We got to move along because this is bordering another long episode here. Last week we had Anna on as a guest, and she brought up, she came up with, she mentioned the idea of who your MVP was for the episode. And I'm like, that's a great idea. We should do that. So at the end of each episode, we can talk about maybe who our favorite character was for that episode. And since it was Anna's idea and I'm about to steal it, I thought we'd give her some love by calling this the Postage.Store MVP, and maybe just for this season. And we'll start with Victor. Who's your Postage.Store MVP, Victor, for this episode?
Oh, well, I mean, I have to give it to Squirrely Dan just because
really
he's the one. Well, yeah, he's the one that sets the scene. That whole story that we were kind of the cold open, which in this case isn't kind of a separate thing of its own. It was a true opening to the episode, and he's the one that told the story and kept telling the story to Tanya's chagrin. But no, I felt that he's the one that brought us into the episode. So
interesting. I'm surprised. I would have thought somebody else, but anyway, we'll see what Matt says. Who's your MVP for this one?
Oh, it's 100% Jay Baruchel.
There you go.
All right, Jay. And again, I don't agree with a single damn thing he said, but he sold the character. Yeah. And he sold him so well.
Oh, he chewed the scene. He chewed every scene he was in, and they gave him a ton to chew on, right? I mean,
he knew what I would love to talk to him about this. He knew what he was doing. He probably loved every moment of it. And he earned that title for sure.
Awesome. Tanya, who's your MVP?
Tanis.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
100% Tanis. She absolutely 100%.
Well, I'm a big fan of Tanis for sure, but I'm going to have to give my MVP to Baruchel as well. Like they brought him in. It's hard to come into a show where you're just a guest and you kind of steal the show, and he did. He did. I mean, his presence alone. It's funny when you talk about Jay Baruchel and his presence, because he's made his career basically being this kind of diminutive looking person. But in this case, he's bigger. He's larger than life in this episode, and I thought he did a great job. Crystal?
I'm going with Tanis too.
All right.
I just at the end, just the fight scene, her just shutting him down, and I loved how everybody else got tackled, and she just went right for him. Stood there, he bumped into her. It was just no one else could take him out. It had to be her.
Absolutely.
She did have the best line of the episode too. Sharing territory isn't your strong suit.
He was like, we share the similar grounds or something like that. And she's like, that's not one of your strong suits.
Yeah,
but,
I loved it.
Loved it.
So
All right.
yeah, she put him in his place, and I like him. I like him as an actor and a person, but I just couldn't MVP him for the character.
No, that's awesome.
I agree.
It's good to have different opinions here. So let's move on to favorite episodes, top fives. Victor, does this crack your top five?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. Matt, does this crack your top five?
No, it'd be a top 10, but it's not in my top 5.
Tanya, does this crack your top 5? Does this push Fart Book off finally?
You know what?
Whoa.
I've been re-listening to shows and stuff. So maybe Fart Book will maybe, but not today. So
I was so hopeful.
I would say I'll put it in my top 10, but it doesn't touch the 5.
All right. Well, yeah, it doesn't touch my 5 either. My top 5 are really strong, and this one is a strong episode, just not nearly as funny. So it'll probably, it's probably in my top 10, but not top 5. Crystal, I don't expect you to name off your top 5 episodes, but if you want to, shout out maybe some of your favorite episodes.
A lot of them are in future episodes. This would be
those don't exist yet, though.
We're excited
that's why,
about that.
I'm like, I'm a little hesitant. I mean, relationships I loved. Oh my gosh. Should have wrote this shit down before.
You clearly don't listen to our show.
Pretty much any of the holiday episodes. Yes. I love them. I don't know why. Easter, Christmas is my favorite.
Yeah, we haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, we haven't seen Christmas.
Yeah. I think Christmas is the end of this season. I think after season 5 is Christmas.
But I have to say, after St. Patrick's Day yesterday, I was thinking about Squirrely Dan in the leprechaun outfit, and I was flashing back to that moment, thinking, what did I give that? I should have given it more of a funny. So, anyways, well, yeah.
Like Easter, and I know you guys just recently did Easter. With the super hard Easter and just Derry's face, his face when it comes up like that. So pretty much any holiday episode I would put as my top 5 right now.
That's awesome.
Nice.
This one would be a low top 10.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So just in let's see, news. Something interesting happened. I should have mentioned this maybe off the top with about my week. Last week. Tyler Johnston hosted a cameo. I don't even know what they're called, but basically you pay for 2 minutes with your favorite celebrity, and I jumped on to have I basically paid for Tyler Johnson so I can ask him to be on the podcast. He couldn't say no because, well, I paid. It was like, I forget how much it was, like $10 or whatever. So yeah, I had 2 minutes with Tyler Johnson, and it was fun. We had it, those 2 minutes went by really, really quick, and then we took a picture afterwards. I tweeted that picture out. And can
I just say, Al was so darn giddy. Oh my God. Like the man was smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah. So I managed to get him to say, send me a DM and we'll make something happen. So, and I haven't heard back from him. So I'm hoping he's not ghosting me. But anyway, it was still fun to talk to him. And
for Christmas, Alan's only getting cameos from people. Like, holy mackerel.
Oh, I've seen some of the cameos that not Tanis, but Kenneth Dio Horn gives. And if you give me a cameo from her, I'll be forever in debt.
I can tell you,
and endowed.
Yeah.
Tyler B. Johnson liked one of my Instagram pictures, which was the picture of the allegedly ostrich on my car.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my God, 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like, we're friends now. I pretty much know the whole cast. He's seen my Instagram. He liked my picture. I know all of them now.
Yeah.
So this is great. So when you have him on, tell him I said hi.
I will. So hopefully we can make that happen soon. I'm sure he gets. Yeah, I'm sure his DMs are full. So he, full of crystals trying to get his attention. So maybe a DM from someone named Al.
Liking my photo.
Yeah. There's another thing during the Twitter poll, the Twitter roll. I never got down to it, but we're finally being followed by Letterkenny Problems. Just now they started following us. So I don't know what prompted them to finally say, oh, maybe we should pay some attention to these guys. But yeah, now they're following us. So we have their...
I got a follow from them yesterday.
Yeah.
Pay some attention.
Yeah, well, I mean, we always do everything. Every time I post something, I always tag them. So I don't know whether we were being just super annoying before or whether because...
Like, all right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, fine. We hear you.
Fucking get it already.
We love you.
Now all we need is for them to start retweeting us. And
yeah, every once in a while they will. But I like to think that it's Jared Kiso just, in the background going,
sure,
yeah.
That's what it is.
All right. Final comments, final thoughts. Victor, do you have any?
Just thank you, Crystal. It's so awesome to have you on. It's always nice to have our patrons and just our community members, if you will, on with us, and kind of brings you to life. And it's nice to kind of get to know you as a person, and, you know, learn a little bit about you and whatnot. So just a real thank you for having for gracing us with your time.
Yeah,
thank you,
Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I'll echo everything Victor says. I love this. I mean, I love having guests on. I love that the listeners are coming on. This is so much fun. I mean, this really started as kind of a little fun thing to do during COVID. And did I mute it?
No,
I thought there was okay.
We still hear you.
I thought she was laughing because no one could hear me. But no, it's been such a blast. So I mean, I thank you so much for coming on. I hope we can have you again sometime. This is so much fun. And from this episode, I mean, I loved it. I thought this was great. I love when they tackle hard, relevant issues. And I thought, and again, I am the least political person on the planet. I don't really give a shit. I don't have enough time in my day to pay attention to the hard right shit that's going on out there. But there's enough on Twitter to keep me interested. So I follow it to that degree. But I thought this was such a fantastic messaging episode. And I love what they do with this show. So, and I look forward to the rest of the season.
All right, Tanya.
As I said before, the show wasn't funny, but it was an awesome message. And, you know, we need more shows to bring that message to make a good change. Right. So, it was a good show. And thank you, Crystal. It was so nice to meet you, and glad that you came on. Hope to see you again.
Hard right, hard left. To me, it doesn't matter. Like anything hard, anything extreme is bad. And so I like the way this.
Well, wait a second.
Not everything is.
Okay, hold on.
Met your wife?
I'm speaking for myself, not speaking for my wife.
Yes. And Extreme is my favorite band, and they're coming out with a new album. So
there you go.
Stay tuned for that.
Really? Nuno and Gary are getting back together?
They've already gotten together, and the album was ready a year ago, but stupid COVID, because they want to start touring for the album. Anyway, it's going to be awesome. It's going to blow your mind, but we just have to wait just a little bit longer.
Awesome. Will you be going to the show if they come to Toronto?
Not will only I be going, but you're coming with me.
Oh, wow. All right. You're buying me a ticket. Good. You heard it here, folks. I'm getting a ticket to an Extreme show. I don't know. Well, no. If they play some of the early stuff, maybe.
They're going to be playing their new album. I stay with the script.
Stay with the script.
Anyway, yes, it was a fun episode. Crystal, thank you so much for coming on, and I'm happy that we got you for this episode. You did great.
Yeah.
And I mean, hopefully we'll have you on. I mean, we're starting to recycle our patrons in terms of bringing them back on, since we've already gotten to the end of our list. So I'm sure you'll be back again for a future episode, and then you'll also be able to talk about some of those favorite episodes that we haven't hit yet.
That are upcoming, yeah. The upcoming seasons are like they just get so good.
Yeah.
But
do you have a favorite season?
Thank you so much for having me. And my favorite season probably 7 into 8.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh wow.
All right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Giles said that that's when it dips, I think. Isn't that what Giles said?
Well, yeah, Dean likes 3 and 4, and I think he said 5. I can't remember, but he said
I think he said 7 is where it dips.
Yeah,
so that's
he thought.
interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like when it starts to get like a little bit more of a solid plot line that goes throughout
right.
A couple episodes. It's not just episode to episode with like a small little background. So
okay. Awesome.
Looking forward to it. But thank you for having me. And I got over my crippling fear of public speaking.
Oh, good.
So this is awesome.
You did great. we wouldn't have guessed. Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't have known.
Awesome.
We hope you had a good time.
I did.
Was it Roscoe or Bosco? It was
Roscoe.
Roscoe. Thank you, Roscoe, for making an appearance.
Bosco is the barbecue sauce.
And then at one point, my cat was trying to crawl in front of the screen, so I'm sitting here with my arm pushing like this because I'm like deflecting a cat while my dog is like, "Let me just chew on this wire."
The heat of the laptop.
Yeah.
It just calls them.
Maybe.
It calls them.
It really does. He's like, "Why aren't you paying attention to me?"
The reason I mistook it because our neighbors had a dog named Bosco, so that's why I had Bosco.
Bosco's the Costanza's password or something like that. But yeah, anyway.
On Seinfeld, really? I don't remember that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to play us off.
It was not any of my passwords, I swear.
It's
on the dark web,
Bosco 123 is every one of her passwords.
It's on the dark web.
I'm going to play us off here with one of the songs from the episode. Actually, there was only 3 songs in the episode, and only one of them had a Spotify link. So I'm hoping this isn't the one that annoyed the shit out of Victor. It's called The Rest Will Follow and the band is called And You Will Know Us by the Trail of Dead.
Okay, it might be then. Just a guess.
Wow.
So let's see here as it loads up. I should have already had this loaded. You think I've got one job, right?
I'm not sure.
I think you pulled an audible.
Here we go.
That was good.
Yeah, so far, so good.
So far.
I don't think that's it.
No, that's a good song.
Yeah, it's a good song. We lucked out.
The band's name is questionable, but the song is good.
I mean, it won't even make a good acronym. AYWKU, but yeah, it doesn't. You know, they're eventually going to shorten. If John Cougar Mellencamp removed Cougar, these guys are going to shorten it to Trail of Dead or something eventually. If they last.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's a solid song.
I do like this song, actually.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah, no, it's a good song. Yeah.
And that's all we have for this. And that's all we have for this episode. Please, Crystal.
Okay, McMurray.
No, I can't stop talking.
We've unleashed the beast. And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we recap and review episode 4 of season 5, Letterkenny Spelling Bee. So make sure you're hydrated. If you'd like to support the podcast, rate us on iTunes or become a patron. There's a Patreon link on our site, on our Twitter profile, at ProdustanPod. Thanks for joining us. Now we're going to go protest something. I don't know what. We'll just protest anything. On behalf of Crystal, Matt, Victor, Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.